Hello everyone, it's Pat here at Beads and Plenty More, and today I'm going to talk about making bolo ties. Now, bolo ties have recently become quite popular for women to wear, and the women wear the style inside their shirt collar and down the front with the tails hanging down. A little bit different than men usually wear theirs outside the collar and more like a traditional tie. So what I've got here is I've made up this one, which is going to be my centerpiece for a bolo. I've threaded these 2-hole beads on the outside. First of all, I'll talk about how the backing material. It's this product called Good Felt, and it's a heavy but porous type material that you can stitch through very easily. So what I've done is I've glued this center cabochon down onto the good felt, and then I've threaded the 2-hole beads here with a little tiny bead on the outside so that it makes it into a nice circle like that. And then when I went to, I've glued this and then I've glued this. And when I glued the outside ring, I used these little clamps on it to make sure that it stayed nice and flat like that. So I'm going to start by showing you how I made this outside ring. I've got another color of these same beads. This is what they look like. They're a 2-hole bead, and they come on a string. Sometimes they're a little bit joined, so I have to snap them apart. Get a few that aren't joined, and then we can work on them. Just when they process them, they tend to stick together a little bit. There's a few that aren't. And then just take a pair of pliers and break them apart if you need to. Get a few more on here. Okay, so, and the wire that I used is this 28 gauge silver parawire. So the good idea when you're stringing a 2-hole bead and wanting to make it into a circle that goes out like that, we used a little 15 seed bead that goes in between, and that's these little guys in size 15. Very little, but they just do the trick. So very important that you would string the outside layer first, and of course that makes sense when you think about it, because you want to do the biggest one first, and then it's much easier to tidy up the inside row. So I just did the outside row just like this, 1 and 1, and then I went ahead and strung the inside row after I'd got this row done. So we get them like that, and then we'll run another thread, or another wire, pardon me, on this side to make it so that it'll curve out like that. So now what I'm going to do with this one that I have already done the gluing on, I'm going to take it and I'll cut this outside good felt away. So I'll cut very close to the outside bead like this, all the way around to get rid of the excess. A notch there. Okay, so that I don't need, that's just garbage. So this is what it looks like, a little bit nicer once it's got the outside edge off. And then we're going to put a backing on it, which is like this. It's got the little things for the cord to slide through, and that will be glued a little bit up from the center, so that if you have it right in the center when you're wearing it, it could tip. So I usually try and off-center it a little bit towards the top. So I'll glue that on, and then I use a cord. I've got a variety of cords. We've got some metallic ones that are quite pretty. These are pre-cut cords that I have that we can use. If you don't want to use a pre-cut cord, you can use cord that is bought by the meter. Sometimes people want it just a little bit longer, so we have the cords like that, or something like this. Silver is very nice as well. And so then you end up with a cord that's going to look like this. That's going to go down the back of the center piece here, going through my backing that I have like that. And then you're going to add tips onto the end of this cord, so they just get glued on like that. Now we have a variety of tips too, depending on what you might like. Got ones like this, and a little bit filigree. And then, of course, the classic one that's been around for a long time, like that. And a long one if you want, like for men that may want to make the tips really long. So that's the idea of how to make a bolo tie. And I mean, there's lots of ways you can decorate this centerpiece to make it even fancier than what I've done here. But I just wanted to feature these 2-hole beads that also look really good making a circle like that. Anyway, have fun making bolo ties, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.